silver is the secondary monetary instrument, and it has use. So does gold. Gold is the primary, silver is the secondary. And it has use across the entire global economy. So both physical gold and silver have the broadest base of buyer and the broadest base of functionality. I mean, it's used in electronics, it's used in cell phones, it's used in food, it's used in the monetary system, it's used in every single area of the global economy. So no matter what you're doing, you always want to say, okay, well, what is its true value? Something that's completely being overlooked in the markets, in every area of the markets these days, because they're telling us this time is different. Not different. It's never different. 4,800 times is telling me it's not different.
Yeah.
But if you want to know the true fundamental value of any asset or instrument, so it's not just some talking head going, well, it's worth $600 or it's worth $50,000 or it's worth zero or what have you. The way that you get it's a little nuanced, but you need to figure out what is the single most important function that asset or that instrument performs for its creators. Not what you want it to do, but why was it created to begin with? And then you can look at how history has valued that function. So that you don't have to say, well, what's your price target? That has nothing to do with me because I'm not going to sell silver. When silver gets to $600 an ounce, I'm going to use these chopsticks to buy real goods. I'm not going to turn them into paper, right? Fiat money that is rapidly losing value because both gold and silver have properties that they have not been able to duplicate in a lab. I think that the bankers have been quite good at creating a whole lot of silver and a whole lot of gold that does not nor ever will exist. And, we have to keep in mind that a rising gold price, a rising silver price, gold mostly because it's the primary currency metal, but a rising gold price is an indication of a failing currency. Silver is more volatile because it's used in more places and it gets used up in manufacturing. Do I think that they could, what I find really interesting is that President Johnson in the 60s, 70s, end of 60s, mid-60s, when they decided to take the silver out of the coins, actually came out, anybody can search it and they'll find it, and admitted that the government would manipulate the price of silver to prevent the hoarding. And we certainly saw what happened to the Hunt brothers in the 80s. When they attempted to corner the silver market. Additionally, since then, it takes a while before the Federal Reserve releases the full documents from their meetings, but there are so many actual admittances to manipulating pricing, mostly in gold from the central banks. However, there's something like, I think it was Egon von Greyer's, who said that there's something like 100,000 ounces of silver that are shorted, that do not exist and never will. Personally, it was before I knew how to print a screen, unfortunately, but I saw with my own eyes on the Bank for International Settlements website in their derivative gold, at one point before they changed the way they accounted for everything, 62,000 ounces of digital gold for every one physical ounce. So, having said that, they know how to do this. GameStop had 138% of all the stock that existed sold short. In other words, sold stock. They sold 38% more stock that did not exist, right? But that's nothing compared to what they've done with gold and silver. Should be illegal, but it depends on who's writing the rules. In the general market, I think that both gold and silver will continue to be manipulated as the banks and as the central banks are accumulating both of those. So do I think that it's going to be the normal little guy? Well, history says no. Okay, so I would have to agree with it. However, this is what everybody really needs to know. If you want to benefit from what is happening, then you do what the smartest guys in the room are doing for themselves. So if you don't know anything else, and what are they doing? They're buying silver, they're buying gold, not the contracts, the physical. They're standing for delivery and they're taking possession and they're taking advantage of these prices. And the reason why those that do that will end up winning. So yeah, some of us little guys are absolutely going to win. And that's because on a global basis, the fiat money system is dead. It died in 2008. It's been on life support. And I don't think it takes anybody any effort to see how truly crazy and insane all of these markets are. So when I talk about a reset, the way that they've done a reset over 4,800 times, no other options, is they reset that fiat money that has no intrinsic value. It is used in one area against something gold that is all intrinsic value because it's used across the entire swatch of the global economy. And so that's just how a reset is done. And silver is the secondary monetary metal. It doesn't outperform during these kinds of transitions because there's lots of data on this. It really does not outperform gold because gold's the primary currency metal, but it certainly performs quite well.